Yo guys, sorry, you already know that today I'm bringing you a fun little video because I am going to be ranking every Pokemon game that is in the main series of titles. This is a video that I actually wanted to do a long time ago, but that was before tier lists were a thing, and so the effort required to put forth a video like that was just more than I could handle at the time, and so it never really amounted to anything. But now I can use this as a format to do this list, and even though that I am using a tier list format, you can see that I actually numbered each of the columns because I am going to be ranking them from worst to best. And the only reason that I am using this format here is because I'm actually making this list on the fly. So you're going to see me as I struggle to sort this out in real time, basically. Instead of having it all pre-planned out and pre-scripted, whatever. Obviously, I've done some thinking about what I would put highly and what I would put lower, but I know what my list is going to be at this current moment about as well as you do. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I actually had to rearrange this so that now I can have these all separated by their generation. Basically, I'm counting all the games. You'll see it's 1 through 17. If I put it on as its own entry, it's there as its own entry for a reason. But if you guys haven't already caught on to the fact, there are actually 18 main series titles, not 17. However, there is one set that I did not play, and that is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I'm just going to put one of each game to represent the slot. That way this doesn't become too full. But yeah, I did not actually play Pokemon Let's Go and Eevee. You can argue that that makes it the worst Pokemon game because it couldn't even get me to buy it. But I'm sure it's, you know, good enough. But I didn't really care enough about the Pokemon Go mechanics, and I wasn't really wanting to play a Pokemon game at that time. So I did not play it. Actually, just to clear out this clutter, I am going to put all of these in the did not play. And there's also, on this one, they have these Japanese ones, which I'm not really counting that. I guess there are other games, but I don't count them. I'm American, and I only play the American releases of these games. So let's go ahead and start with the worst Pokemon game in the main series, which is going to be Pokemon Sun and Moon. I don't really like Pokemon Sun and Moon. I was playing Pokemon Moon on my channel, I think a long time ago, when it came out, and I couldn't be motivated enough to finish the playthrough because it just I was not really having that much fun, which is pretty bad because I think it's the only game that I have ever just stopped playing in the middle of it. I did finish it on my own time eventually, but I think that was mostly because I was doing Pokemon League stuff, and I feel I remember you had to beat the game either to get certain Mega Stones or to do something. I don't really remember. I was basically forced to beat the game, which is really the only reason that I did that. Pokemon Sun and Moon, I don't know. I don't really care about the trials. I don't really care about any of the characters. I think the Pokemon introduced are the weakest of any generation. I appreciate the attempt at the story that it told. I love Team Skull. Man, is there anything else good about Pokemon Sun and Moon? Not really. I also didn't like that the few Pokemon that I did want to use would always be really hard to obtain. They would only be available late game, or some of the Pokemon you could only evolve by taking them to a certain area, which would only be available really late game. So yeah, Pokemon Sun and Moon are definitely the worst, and there's also no reason to go back to these games, because there's just a better version of them that exists, which we're going to come back to. I'm actually not going to put that directly next. Also, part of the criteria of how I'm ranking these is this is basically being ranked in terms of if you laid every single Pokemon game out in front of me and said, I have to play one, which one am I going to pick? And it's basically that, and then trickle down, what's the one that I would pick the least, that I would want to play last. So in my mind, this would actually probably be easier to do from top to bottom, but that's no fun. I think ranking videos are so much more fun to go from bottom to top. So let's go ahead and do number 16, and I could see 16 and 15 going back and forth. Actually, I'm gonna do a half cheating here. Now let's get the not as hot take out of the way. I'm gonna put Pokemon Sword and Shield as number 16. I did not have the same problem with Pokemon Sun and Moon because I actually just like sat there and like played through the entire thing without really stopping. In terms of like I didn't set it down and wasn't motivated to play. I was motivated enough to finish it. That's all I'm trying to say. I do think that I like the new Pokemon introduced in Sword and Shield more than I do in Sun and Moon. I mean, but this game, I think its hand-holding is even worse. It's so easy. It's kind of ridiculous, but I don't know. Good things for Sword and Shield is I did like some of the characters that they tried to introduce. I don't know, maybe not. I'm trying to think. I was like, the gym leaders were kind of cool, I guess. No, maybe not. Some of the areas looked really cool. I also really like, I know there was the whole fiasco with like the national decks and whatnot, but in terms of Pokemon that you were able to catch in-game, like on your own without help from others, I think Pokemon Sword and Shield have the biggest variety. So if you were to play this game over and over again, you could easily use a different team every single time, and you would not run out of like good options to use for a while. The problem with that is that you'd have to play through Sword and Shield multiple times, which I actually started to try and play a second time, like right after I beat it the first time. I made it like one gym in, and then I was just like, I can't keep playing. I want to like it more, but I don't. I haven't been bothered to buy any of the DLC. I don't think it's worth it, like in any way, shape, or form. I like some of the things that they went for. I do like that they kept the wild Pokemon thing, where like you could see the wild Pokemon and then like you could try to avoid them, or you could choose to fight them, sort of thing. I don't know. I think there was a lot of good ideas there. There were a lot of good Pokemon there. I don't think that it comes together in a cohesive package that I personally enjoy. So hopefully they take the good stuff, leave the bad stuff, and we get better Pokemon games in the future, but Sword and Shield is kind of the game that is making me doubt that's ever really going to happen, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and get to number 15, which is going to be, what could it be? It's going to be Pokemon Red and Blue. These games are just old. That's really all it comes down to. If you were, gonna hold a gun to my head and tell me to play one of these, I'd probably rather play Red and Blue. It might just be more for the nostalgic value, because it doesn't really have that much going for it outside of that. I mean, it's very classic, very retro. It's the opposite of hand-holding. It actually doesn't tell you a whole lot of how things work. You just kind of figure it out in game. But I don't know. It's just really old. The mechanics are really outdated. There's no ghost moves. There's no bug moves, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Pokemon that don't even really get useful moves at all. And it's definitely something that's been improved upon, which I think is good. I think if your very first game is the best game, then that's a problem, because you should be wanting to improve your games as you go on, not make them worse. So yeah, number 15 is going to be Red and Blue. And I thought about putting this under Sword and Shield just to do this, because I'm actually just going to put Pokemon Yellow up next as number 14. Pokemon Yellow is definitely better than Red and Blue because it has like a fun little gimmick of like being loosely based on like the anime. And especially if, I remember I played this when I was a kid and I was like watching the anime. So it's really cool to be like, oh, I have my own Pikachu, just like Ash, and some of the Pokemon available are based on that. Some of the teams that the gym leaders uses. You get like the actual like Jesse and James from Team Rocket, coming up on you a few times. It was really neat. It's really cool. If you're going to play Gen 1 strictly for the nostalgic value, I think Pokemon Yellow is the way to go. More so than Red and Blue. It's the only reason that it lands there. But yeah, I don't think I have that much more to say about Pokemon Yellow. I do like you can get all the starters in that game. And yeah, I don't know. The Pikachu thing is fun. So there we go. So 15, 14. All right, so one more to go in this little line here. These are just arbitrary. Despite the fact that they're like separated by what would generally be tiers, I just decided to put numbers so that way it would make it kind of like an even looking list, with the very best being at the very top, as it should be. So I actually need to think about what is going to go next, because I think I'm between two different ones. But I think number 13 is going to be Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I'm not a big fan of Diamond and Pearl, mostly because of the really, really slow gameplay. I also kind of think that the jump from Gen 3 to Gen 4, I think, is like the weakest jump in terms of like it's like visual quality. I think I don't really know how to explain it, but I know that when I was playing through Diamond and Pearl, like a lot of the building designs were very similar. It looked like it was just a slightly better looking version of like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, which I feel like every other generation does a pretty good job of distinguishing itself as being its own thing. That's probably not always the case, but there's that. There's also the issue of there not being like a lot of Pokemon that I enjoy using in the game. You know, obviously no fire types is one issue, but also I feel like Gen 4 has some of the absolute like best Pokemon, but there's not a lot of them, or the ones that there are not as easy to acquire in game. And I feel like anytime that I play through Diamond and Pearl, I feel like my team just kind of ends up being the exact same, because, you know, you catch your a Shinx, you catch your a Starly, you choose whether you want Shellos or like Buizel, and then you just kind of go from there, because like I don't even remember. I feel like you have to wait a while until there's like any Pokemon worth getting, which I'm sure I'm missing something, but it's a little rough. I feel like the playing through diversifying your team is hard, and yeah, the gameplay is just really slow, and they've just made a better version. There's just, for me, there's no reason to ever go back and play Diamond and Pearl. Platinum is sitting right there, and we'll get to that not sooner but later. So yeah, I think I covered all the points for. Oh, I also don't like the over reliance on like HMs. There's like, by the time you hit to Gen 4, a lot of the Pokemon that you can catch will actually start learning useful moves, and you can teach useful moves with like TMs and stuff, where HMs start to really get in the way, and like there's a reason. Yeah, I guess one of your team members just has to be a Bidoof so it can be an HM slave, but yeah, I don't really like HMs as in general, and I like they've kind of gone away with them, done away with them now, but yeah, I think it's the worst in Gen 4, just mostly because of how much in the way it gets, because you could be doing something better with that moveset most of the time. I don't know, you could probably fact check me and tell me I'm wrong, but I wouldn't really want to play Diamond and Pearl again for that, but they're still better in these games. So that's going to take us to number 12, which for me is actually going to be Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, because I don't really know if it's that much better than Sun and Moon. I think the thing with these games is that there's just better versions of these to play. This is the best version of Gen 7 to play. I like the attempt at like the story. I like the little like boss battle thing. I like that. I feel like there were more areas, and if not, I think there were more Pokemon that you could catch. They also made certain Pokemon available earlier, like the areas that you needed to have access to evolve certain Pokemon appeared way earlier in the game. I remember they just made little tweaks like that I just thought were better. I don't remember if the trials were that much better or not. I feel like they were. I just remember not hating my life playing Ultra Sun the way I did when I was playing Moon. That's the only difference that I can think of. So for that, it's gonna get number 12. I can also just see myself going back and playing Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I don't know if I ever will, but I could see that being a possibility. I could see that happening more than I could see me going back and playing like any of these games. So yeah, that's number 12. Let's go to number 11. Number 11. Interesting. I want to make sure that I'm not missing something very, very obvious before I drop this bombshell. I think I'm gonna have to drop the bombshell right now. Number 11 is going to be Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. I feel like the quality of this game is a lot better than the amount of games between its show, because I do really like Fire Red and Leaf Green. I just think that, again, and I'll touch on it with the next game that I put on the list. I just think that there's a better Gen 1 experience out there, which I'll explain more once we get there. But I don't know, the Kanto region, you know, it's still very kind of basic. You know, it was the first region. The caves are just kind of stuff thrown places. The different areas that you can go in are, I don't know, it doesn't, it holds up in terms of nostalgia. It's definitely better because it has more moves that you can learn. And if you're going to play through Kanto, I think this is the way to do it. But if you want the best, specifically just like Gen 1 Game Boy type experience, I think the way to go is to play Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, which is going to be number 10 and 9, respectively. This is, you know, these are the most nostalgic games for me, so that could be playing a part, but the thing is I think that Gen 2 just basically took everything that Gen 1 did and fixed every single issue, as well as a lot of the wild Pokemon that you can find in the Johto region are just Gen 1 Pokemon, so you're not even missing out on, I mean, you're missing out on like some good ones, but there's so many available. So you have that, you can go through the Kanto region again. That's the other thing, is like these games, like you get 16 gym badges, plus you have the Elite Four. Do you play them twice? I think you play them twice, and then you can fight Red. There's just so much more content, but it's still retro, you know, in the sense that it just, again, it just takes everything that Red and Blue did and just did it better. So if you want the like quintessential like old school Pokemon like gameplay, like I think these are the way to go. Yeah, Crystal's a little bit better just because it has like the Suicune story stuff, I guess. And I think there were some more Pokemon available in Crystal. I don't know. I just remember being better. I don't know. It's just an improvement on this, but I already love Gold and Silver a decent amount. So yeah, that is what, 9, 8. While I keep thinking, I guess we can talk about some of the downsides of Gen 2, which is mostly the Pokemon. It also has a little bit of an issue with fire types, I think, because I don't remember there being many good ones outside of, I know I think in Gold you can get a Growlithe, and Silver you can get like a Vulpix, but they both require a Fire Stone, and I always have terrible luck getting the Evolutionary Stones in Gen 2, because you have to like wait for a specific person to call you. I don't really remember if any of that changes in Crystal. This is mostly off my memory of Silver, but there's that. Gen 2 also has like a pretty high reliance on HMs, but I think it's less of an issue in these games because your move slots are just less valuable. Every Pokemon is only going to learn like 1 or 2 good moves, and so your 3rd or 4th move slot, if it's taken up by an HM, it really doesn't matter, which I guess is also kind of a downside because there's some Pokemon that just don't really get good moves here, which is unfortunate. But yeah, 10, 9. Wow, so still need number 8. Oh my gosh, I think I can't put it any higher than this. Number 8 is going to be Pokemon X and Y. I'm a big fan of Pokemon X and Y. I've gone back and played through it a couple times, and I just have fun every time. If you play with the experience share off, it's a pretty difficult game in my experience. And if you play with it on, I can usually balance it by just having a team of more than 6 and rotating them out in the box. I think that's what I did the first time I played through it, is I just had like 12 Pokemon and I would like swap them all around. And I remember there being a lot of good Pokemon that you can use in X and Y because it has the new mons that they introduced, but then it also has a lot of older ones that you can throw in there as well. So I like X and Y a lot. I know the characters are a little bit lacking, but I just think that the also just this was the jump to the 3DS, and I think the graphics are pretty good. You know, the cities are bigger. I don't know, I just like a lot of the areas. So yeah, X and Y, number 8. That's right above halfway. So we're getting into the higher tier of games. For me, but something needs to be number 7. Interesting. I almost want to. Do I have to do it? Number 7 is going to be Pokemon Black 2, White 2? Yeah, I think so. Because, fun fact, I've never actually completely beaten Black 2, White 2. I've gotten to the end, close to the end a couple different times, but I've never actually gone through and like, finished the job off. That's not really... It doesn't really have anything to do with the quality of the game. It just has to do with me and being bad at finishing games. But the problem with Pokemon Black 2, White 2 is some of the things that they try and like force down your throat. Like this is the one that has like, oh, you have to go through the whole Pokestar Studios segment. They try and stop you at like Join Avenue to do a bunch of stuff. They force you into that like Pokemon World tournament thing, which like it's fine, and like if you're into that, that's cool, but like to force a tutorial on you like through all that is like a little rough. I don't know, I just feel like in some of the older Pokemon games, the tutorials either didn't take that long or they didn't even have them at all. Like I'm trying to think like Pokemon contests and stuff in Gen 3 and 4. They might force you to do 1 and 4, but I feel like they don't. They just give you a thing, tell you to play dress up or something. I might be thinking of something completely different. But I don't even think you have to do 1. They kind of introduce the concept, say, hey, it's here if you want it, and then leave you be. Whereas like Black 2, White 2 is like, no, we're gonna show you every little thing you can do with this like cool little feature. Yeah, that also like, you know, same things with like I know this had like a battle tower, all like the extra like battle things. It's like it'll just be there, and Black 2, White 2 is just like, no, we're gonna show you it's there, and we're gonna like force you to do it. Because outside of that, everything about this game should be like top tier, basically. It basically has a lot of the same Pokemon that you can get in Black and White, as well as adding in a bunch of older Pokemon as well. It has a couple new areas. Oh, I remember. Also, I feel like Black 2, White 2 was the first one where I really could tell that they were like hand-holding me pretty bad, at least through the first gym. Like Alder, I think like follows you like basically until you get your first gym badge, and then it's not even until after that where you feel like you can like actually go somewhere. Which then you just run into the new city with the rocker gym leader, and then that's where Pokestar Studios is, which is like, you know, not great. So I feel like it takes a while for this game to get going as well. That could just be a me thing, but because of that, that's actually going to bump it down to number 7. Otherwise, it would probably be a little bit higher. I want to make sure that I am not missing anything before I go through this next set of games. So we're gonna go 6, 5, 4. All right, I think I already have my 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 ready to go, and this is going to be actually pretty quick because going in order, I'm just gonna put 6 as Alpha Sapphire, 5 as like Ruby and Sapphire, and like 4 as Emerald. Yeah. I think that Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby could be a lot lower, because I remember being somewhat disappointed in them, but I don't remember why. And because I don't remember why, instead of arguing why they should be so low, I'm just going to stick them next to the originals. But if I'm going to play through Gen 3, I think I'd actually play through the originals. And I know that it doesn't have like the physical special split and whatnot, but I don't care. I just feel like there was more charm in these ones. Ruby is the one that I played the most of, and I don't know, I liked all of the different things. I like the Pokemon contest. You know, you got your choice of bikes. You got the trick house. I love the trick house. A lot of good Pokemon and a lot of good variety. I think for like replayability, I feel like there's a decent amount for you to mess around with your team with each time that you play these games. And I'm just gonna assume that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire have most of these. I know that there was like the whole Latios thing that kind of got in the way, I think. And there were some aesthetic changes. So I'm just gonna assume that it wasn't all terrible. And that's the only reason that it's here. But I know that Ruby and Sapphire are good. And I know that Emerald is basically just an improved version of Ruby and Sapphire. I'm pretty sure Emerald has like more double battles and probably more Pokemon that you can catch. I know people love Emerald a lot because of the Battle Frontier, but I never actually played Emerald as a kid, so I never really messed around with that. So I'm sure it's great, but I'm basically just basing this off of the fact that it's Gen 3, and this is like the best Gen 3 game. So that's just like the trio of these, 6, 5, 4. Man, there are only 3 left. So we are at our top 3, and number 3 is going to be Pokemon Platinum. If you want to play Gen 4, this is the way to do it. The game speed is faster, there's more Pokemon available. It is still hard to get your hand on a lot of specific Pokemon if you're not trading with people. There's also a lot of like, know this specific move and then get to this level to evolve, or hold this item, or trade with this item. There's a lot of those that I don't super like, but I really love the Sinnoh region. It might, I don't know if it's my favorite. It might be my favorite just because of, it is the one that I'm least familiar with, but there's like a lot of, like, I really like the snow area. I like some of the fog. I don't know, just like, I'm trying to think, like, there's really nothing bad I can think about Pokemon Platinum, to be honest. It just made just the right changes to Pokemon Diamond and Pearl to make them better. And yeah, just about every complaint I have is fixed in Platinum. I'm pretty sure you still have to rely a lot on HMs in Platinum, but you know, you deal with it. It's not really that big of a deal at the end of the day. If I'm going to go back and play Gen 4, I'm playing Pokemon Platinum. And this is crazy, actually seeing it out in front of my face, because I would never have thought that I would have put a Gen 4 game above Gen 3. But this looks right. This looks right to me, so I'm just going to keep it like that. And so now we are to our top 2, which are fittingly right next to each other. Which one could it be? Well, my number 2 is going to be Pokemon Black and White. I love the original Black and White. I do think that it is the best original Pokemon game in the series. I love the return to basics where the only Pokemon you could catch were from Unova. I love almost all of the new Pokemon introduced. There's a lot of team variety that you can do on replays. I love all the areas, the music in this game, the story. I mean, this literally has everything. I think Pokemon Black and White 1 is basically the perfect Pokemon game. And then of course the other perfect Pokemon game is Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver. And you know what, I'm actually just going to throw them both up there just so they can both sit up top. Gen 2 is already pretty nostalgic to me, and these just remade it and did it better. They made the gyms better. They made even more Pokemon available. The graphics, obviously, it's just like every little thing that you could have done, like you did. This now has the physical special split. It has more moves available, so some of the Pokemon that you could have used in the originals that were useless now might actually have some use. There's literally just like no bad thing I could say about Heart Gold Soul Silver. Yeah, so wow, that is my entire ranking from 17 to 1. I will go through it one last time just to wrap this video up. Number 17, Pokemon Moon. 16, Sword and Shield. No, I guess I should say 17, Sun and Moon. 16 sword and shield, 15 red and blue, 14 yellow, 13 diamond and pearl, 12 ultra sun, ultra moon, 11 fire red, leaf green, 10 gold and silver, 9 crystal, 8 X and Y, 7 black hue white 2, 6 mega ruby alpha sapphire, 5 ruby and sapphire, 4 emerald, 3 platinum, 2 Pokemon black and white, and number 1 Pokemon heart gold, soul silver. So that has been me ranting about main series Pokemon games for probably way too long, but that's my ranking. Let me know your ranking in the comments below, or you can just use the comments to yell about how wrong my rankings are. Either way is fine with me. If you want to see me do any other sort of ranking videos, you let me know, and I will, consider it. But until then, hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you enjoy future videos that are coming your way. So I will see you then. Peace.